So, just to recap, the fundamental qualities of a hypothesis is that sort of explanation, the variables, the operationalization or testability of it, falsification, and prediction. A hypothesis is supposed to provide an explanation for some sort of natural phenomenon or data set. All of these types of hypotheses all have that relationship between the variables. It requires at least sort of one independent variable and one dependent variable, or two interdependent variables. These variables are quantifiable and measurable, and without having these variables, there can be no null hypothesis, as the null hypothesis isn't merely a negation of the hypothesis, it's there being a lack of a link between the variables. So if you do not have quantifiable, measurable variables, you do not have a null. Whilst a hypothesis isn't strictly a prediction in and of itself, through its sort of exploration, investigation, operationalization, there should be some clear predictions coming out of it. So if this hypothesis is true, we would expect to see this result. A hypothesis has a predictive quality. Now, predictions can extend past hypothesis testing, of course, and they can even be additional explanations. One has, if a particular theory is true. Consider something like the prediction of gravitational waves, long before we ever had the ability to detect them. This was still based on some really good science, though technically it wasn't a hypothesis until it was falsifiable in principle.